to this dog and pony show that is the Black Mind Games podcast. I'm joined by our illustrious... My name is Jeff. I'm joined by our illustrious host, Josh. Yes, I am going back and not editing that because fuck you.
Hi, Josh. Wait, dog and pony show?
Dog and pony show, yes.
I would have thought it'd been like fireworks and puppy dogs.
That's not the saying.
Oh, I see.
Saying is dog and pony show, you know.
I mean, is one better than the other?
I mean, a dog and pony show, you have ponies and dogs. They're animate objects. You can actually pick them up and play with them. And
yeah, I was actually thinking of the Simpsons reference of what was it when the whole class fucked up and they have to go do a bunch of cleaning stuff for the city. And one for Bart, he thought he was gonna go to the puppy dog and fireworks factory. And it's just, you see all these fireworks stuff in the background from the building, and then the puppy dogs are in the windows. They're all like barking. And he's like, I'm gonna work here. And he's like, no, the building beside that. And it was the old folks' home.
Oh.
So I'm thinking we're puppy dog fireworks factory, and then they just point generally over to the boring shit. And you're like, oh no.
Oh.
Damn it.
Fuck. You mean I don't get to push buttons and watch puppy dogs do cool things? Oh, I'm sad.
Damn it.
Yeah, today's been a fun day. This weekend's been fun. Depressing, but fun.
Have you ever wondered what would happen if you died?
As usual. How was your week, Josh?
It's been fine. I've been just kind of, I don't know, chilling for the most part, I guess. And I did play a single video game this week.
Was it High on Life? High on Knife?
High on Knife? No.
High on Knife.
I gotta look that up because I know you said something that it was great.
It's pretty awesome. It's not the best thing I've ever played, and that studio has done better in their own video game, but, you know.
Right.
And they justify removing Justin Roiland really stupidly. So.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. If it just sounded like they needed an excuse and they found it.
Yeah, well, they removed two characters from that entire game. They removed the sister, and the sister gets the funnier joke because it's the, hey man, your sister has an OnlyFans.
Oh.
And it's like, yeah, she has an OnlyFans, and you know she's sucking a lot of alien dick, and you're like, okay, and it's like, yeah, I didn't even know that she could do that, and you're like, oh, okay, that's interesting.
I mean, like, it depends on how you view that. It's just like, hey, if a person wants to do a life of pornography or whatever, and it's like, whatever, good on them. They have the gall to do it. Like, really?
I mean, it's good on them, I guess, that they can fucking just do porn. I mean,
not everyone can do it. Like, really?
No kink shame here. Meanwhile, I'm just like, hey, Josh, don't.
It's like, again, it's like, good on them. They can pull it off. Like, not everyone can fucking do all the jobs here.
You know, good on them. You know, good on them that they're selling their body for sex.
Yeah, like, hey, if you're getting paid for it and in a safe manner, fine, whatever.
But you know, I'm just saying here, they're selling their body for sex. Okay, Josh, I understand.
Again, it's just like people. I mean, there's countries who have like, you know, brothels and it's legal, and the sex industry is more like legalized and stuff. And it's like, they're not exploding indefinitely, so they're fine.
That's not the issue, I find. The issue is like, the issue is like, okay, And the issue with that stuff is like, you then have these people sitting there and they go, why does no guy want to bang me? And you're like, well, you kind of showed your boobs and breasts, and there's no reason to. I could just pay $5.99 a month and see it along with every other guy. There's kind of no point.
I mean, you can still bang that person even if their boobs and bladder
but
online.
like, I would pay. I would, at a certain point, you're just like, I'd rather pay it instead of taking you out for a nice dinner and having to deal with all the emotional manipulation. It's just cheaper, Tim.
It's God damn it. I'm looking on the side of like, hey, yeah, sure, you do that, you put it online, but hey, who are you? What do you do? You like video game? I like video game. Like,
and I'm just taking it. I'm just going, no. No.
You're like, no, I want the poon poon and on my pee-pee.
I'm easy.
I want the sex on my wee wee.
I'm an easier guy.
Oh, God damn it.
Like, look, if I wanted to know the personality of a woman, I would. There's some people I would like to know the personality of and hang out with and stuff like that. Those are what I call friends and girlfriends. Somebody who shows their taint online is just a disaster waiting to happen.
Mm-hmm.
So, what you're saying, Josh, is you're saying that I should deal with a disaster waiting to happen who's going to fuck me over and emotionally manipulate me in such a way that I've eventually become a fucking retard. And I'm sorry, I'm not okay with that.
I think you can skew that really badly.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Have you seen my life now? It's like currently in a dumpster fire state of disrepair.
Like, it's always on fire somehow?
It feels like it.
Like someone threw in a bunch of tires and just lit it?
Yeah, pretty much.
I see.
Yeah, it's been like, it's been an emotional few months.
I see.
Yeah. But yeah, High on Life released a new DLC, and basically, you are helping Knifey find back his family who abandoned him and hated his guts, and were like, hey, we're going to leave you on a planet and then exile you and go tell you to go fuck yourself. And you're helping Knifey get back to his friends and family. So you have to go to a planet, and basically it's just a new planet they added on.
Oh, I see.
There's a character who's literally you.
Okay.
So he all he plays is a card game.
Okay.
And he talks about wasting all of his money on card games.
Yeah, just like me and every other person like me.
And then on top of that, it gets even funnier. He goes like, "All I do, my wife left me, so all I have is these cards. It sucks because I can't make. It sucks trying to have sex with them." And you're like, "What the fuck?"
That's funny.
And I'm just like,
All I have is these cards, and I'm trying to have sex with them. That's so good.
On top of that,
yeah.
There is a bunch of extra little features, bits and bobs, stuff like you have the stop guy, the slow down guy, who tells you to slow down.
Right.
You meet the best character of the show, which leads up to the best gag of the entire DLC.
Oh.
Who is Toxo?
Okay, yeah.
And you have to clear parasites for him.
Okay.
So you clear parasites for Toxo, and he's like, "Oh man, thank you, I appreciate it so much." Now, the easy joke would be Toxo to stand up, and then you just to see a giant alien wang in front of your face.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, they don't do that.
Oh no.
Okay, the way they do this is they're like, there's a cave down there, man. You need to go down the cave and help out and stuff like that. And you're like, okay, fine. So you go down to the cave, and then it glitches out, and it turns into like kind of like a horror game. And I'm like, okay, this is getting pretty spooky. And then it turns into a parody episode of Cheers with Frasier.
That's so good.
And you're like, oh, okay. What the fuck? What's going on here, bud? I don't understand this here, bud. But I'm a little.
I mean, for the demographic that they're probably maybe pointing this game towards, like maybe those people don't know Cheers, but that's.
Yeah, and then and the entire time the episode is called. The entire thing is called Cheeks.
Cheeks, okay.
Because the alien butt is literally in this bar. Because it's Cheeks. And I was like, oh, they're gonna do this joke where he farts, and it's just gonna be like that's the end of the show.
Yeah.
And that would be hilarious. Nope, doesn't happen. So you come out and he goes like, yo man, you were down there pretty for a long time. I'm gonna throw you and fuck you. You're like, okay. The game also has some weird stuff with it. It was the first game that I actually played and kind of smiled and like a little bit and like laughed.
Oh.
And it was like one of those things where I was like, I'm playing it, I'm like, oh, I'm having fun. Like I'm actually kind of having fun. It's weird. I'm having a little bit of fun here. And like I'm not getting upset or anything like that. I'm actually kind of having this weird feeling. It feels like fun. And I'm like, oh, okay, yeah. And as I'm playing it, I'm like, oh, I'm getting a little upset and stuff like that because I'm dying. I'm like, this is hard fight. Pull out the new gun, playing with that. Oh, it's all fun. Everything's so fun. And then I'm just sitting there and I suddenly realize, I'm like, oh, wait. This is what modern gaming is now. This feels like a step back where it's like, oh, you're playing this game and you're playing this game that you had a lot of fun with, and this just feels more bolted onto it.
Okay. And
it's not a full package.
Huh. So you say that the DLC, I don't know, it's actually what it is, DLC, just more on top?
It's literally just a new level.
I see.
And
how much did you pay for it?
I bought High on Life and the DLC, and I think it was like $38.
That's, I guess it's not terrible.
So here's the thing I'm going to say before I say anything about that thing. I never bought a High on Life.
Oh. Okay.
This is the first Xbox game I bought outside of Halo Infinite.
Okay.
And I bought it through the Xbox store.
Okay.
And like I'm playing it and I'm like, man, I'm enjoying this Game Pass. And I was sitting there and I was like, I'll give them some money. And I bought it and I was like, man, Game Pass really is a good service. Because like without Game Pass, I would have never played it. And I would have been like, oh, this stupid Justin Roiland game. Why would anyone play this horse shit?
I mean, I think because of the Game Pass, everyone actually played it for free because it's probably one of those titles that you can give a hard no to quite easily.
Yeah.
And because it was Game Pass, everyone just went, oh, yeah, I think I have Xbox Live or some shit. I can download that for free.
I wouldn't recommend lesbian girlfriend play the game. Let me put it like that. But like somebody like you, I would say like, yeah, you should play it. It's fucking fun. It's a good game. You might enjoy it.
I might like it. But I play weird indie titles, so
you play the preppy shit and the things that like I'm like watching, you're like, this is this weird preppy game, and I'm like, and you go,
except for the one I talked about last week of what was the title of it? I gotta go back to my library.
Oh, right. You're not one of those crazy guys who's like, I play walking simulators, and you're like, oh.
No, I mean, I played one or two walking simulators back when they first start showing up on Steam. So that was what was that? Way Home, My Home, Back Home. The one where you are basically came back
Gone Home.
Gone Home. Yes, there we go. That one where you're basically came back from like a European trip, and the house is you just moved to a new house, your family, and you just figured out where the family moved to, and you're just coming back, and you're like, well, lots of things changed. So and you show up at this house at a rainstorm, and the atmosphere is perfect because you're just by yourself in this entire empty house, and you're trying to piece together what the hell is going on in this house as when you left. And
isn't that like the lesbian? Isn't there like lesbianism is like the thing that ends up happening in that shit?
Yeah, so like as you start piecing together what's going on in the house and like who's which character and what's going on, you start to figure out like, oh, your younger sibling is a total total lesbian. And the family is, or at least the parents, I forget which one it was. Maybe both or one of them was considering putting the kid through conversion therapy, and the kid promptly ran away. So I'm like, good on the kid. I'm like, fuck. Like that ending was like, ooh, I think that was the right choice. Like, damn.
That's a game I wasn't interested in playing too. And whenever somebody says like, I played Gone Home, it's a great, I go, ha 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 ha. Yeah. Let me know when you fucking play an actual fucking video game. Cause that game is not, it's an interactive storybook. It's not a fucking video game.
That's about it. It's like, you can look around and poke at stuff and like start figuring, like piecing things together of like, oh, what's going on in the house, and well, why is this and why is that, and you start discovering stuff about it, and that's fine. It's this great little thing like that. But like, I think I forget what was the price point of that damn game at the time, but it was like, man, I would not pay more than $20 like ever. That game is probably like $10 to $5 if that. Even though the creator put a lot of time into it, and I understand that, but it's like, I don't know. I guess when I play games, I want more out of it. Because that type of experience is like, it feels like it should have been if anything, free Flash game. Mm-hmm. That level of like, oh, this game's super short, like really short. You can probably whip it through in like 30 minutes if you know it, if you kind of get through, know what you're doing somewhat. And like, yeah, you piece together the story, and then once you get that piece together, the game kind of concludes, and you're like, oh, like, yeah, like if you if you paid more than $20, you feel like you got ripped off. Mm-hmm. Because there's not much to it other than the story. So, yeah, it's a kind of this weird, in my point of view, it's like a weird, like, double-edged sword with that type of stuff. You gotta price it just right, so you feel like, the person feels like they get their worth, and then at the same time, the person doesn't feel like they're ripping off people when they're buying it for, like, whatever such amount.
I mean, here's my issues with games like that is like, you can have the opinion of like interactive storybooks are really cool and stuff like that, and like that's what they are.
Yeah.
And like games like Amnesia, I would say like are a little bit more than interactive storybooks because there's mechanics associated with Amnesia and stuff like that. There's a little bit of mechanics associated with games like that. But like when you're talking about a game like Gone Home and stuff like that, all I think about is like, man, how does it? I want to go to one of those creators and say, how does it feel that Kojima came in and made Death Stranding a game that made walking an actual fucking mechanic?
Yeah.
Like it's like I don't want to be a dick, but I kind of want to be a dick.
Yeah.
And it's just like it's some of these people are like, well, I don't understand, and it's like, okay, man, I get it. But yeah, no, you played a new game. It's called Grotto.
I did.
How Grotto was it?
Grotto, so from the Steam description, it says it's a mystical narrative focus experience, which Yeah, that's about right. So basically, you are the soothsayer or soothsayer. So you're reading the stars and you're getting, pro tips from spirits and stuff like that to figure out what your decision is going to be for these people who are coming to you for help. And these people are coming from a nearby tribe, which is, they're all coming from this one tribe, and they're all asking you for advice of what's going on, and they tell you what's going on and what they think, like, hey, can you give me advice on what to do or give me a way to go? And you're using the star constellations and these really weird descriptions to tell these people, you should do this, you should do that, you should do this other thing. So really, it's more of like, the wind blows one direction and then another. You will be free like the wind or some garbage. That literally what's one of the descriptions. And then you give it to the person and they take whatever that description was and they use it for their own will and figure out what to do. And so far my decisions have been interesting because I've been, when I first booted up the game, I'm like, oh, I'm just, figuring out these constellations and giving them to people and see what they're doing. And I'm at a point where they had to make a stern decision of who is the tribe elder. It was between the person called Good for Nothing and the other one called the Best Hunter. And the Best Hunter was all more about protection, feeding everyone equally. Everyone gets equal, whatever, basically. And then on the opposite side of that coin is Good for Nothing, where she had, I felt, better ideas, but at the same time, these ideas were just as bad of the hunter protector guy. So like a lot of them were like, oh, with our community, this is how this works, and we kill off extra kids because we can't afford to feed them all. But then Good for Nothing will also say, oh, I don't want to kill anyone who has to go find food, get food and whatever, have to defend for themselves. So it's like, well, and also the killing kids thing, she's like, no, we won't kill kids. Why would we kill kids? And it's like, well, I side with her, but then also she let us slip that like, oh yeah, there's the trader that comes by. She can sell the extra kids so we can make some more. We could sell the extra kids and use that extra profit to do other things. So I'm like, I hate this reasoning, but I'm gonna have to go with it because you're not just murdering kids outright. Like, I'm like, I don't want to murder the kids outright, but at the same time, I hate selling the kids off. So it's like,
you should murder the kids. Oh,
I was like, oh god. Oh fuck. So I was like, I hope this is the right decision. But yeah, like so far the decisions as they go on get like anywhere from important decisions like that to like, oh god, there's a ceremony coming up and I need to pick the right color. Give me the right color. And of course you go back to where you get your constellations and stuff. There's anything is saying colors. So you just go, I don't know, the winds. Here's the winds. Do whatever you want. And the guy's like, oh right, red. And you're like, of course. Of course, red. Yeah, wind, red. Yeah, totally. Go for it.
Go red.
Yep, go red. And fuck, like, yeah, like so far it's super interesting, and you're kind of seeing like how this little like village town tribe is acting over time with your decisions and stuff. And now it just makes me feel happy that I'm not some sort of like stargazer bullshit dude, because it's like you're really like pulling the threads and what's going on here. Like, it's fucking bullshit. It's so good thing I don't live in those times. Oh boy.
Josh would secretly try to murder some people.
God, no. I would be like, oh, this is the right decision. And then like a month later, I go, how did that decision go? And they go, man, everyone died.
We must commit child sacrifice.
Yeah,
oh.
That's not what I said.
We started committing child sacrifice to fix up your fuck up. Oh.
Oh, that's that's really not what I said, but okay. What did you say? I said the trees grow and then the sun beats down and you gather and grow. Like, what did you think else I said?
I don't know.
Oh, yeah, literally that's the game of like, they come back and go, oh, that shit's getting weird and I don't know what to do. And then you pick one of the constellations of like, the rabbit runs fast. And because it runs fast, it will get away from the predators and trouble or whatever. And you give that to the person and they go, oh, I think I know what to do. And they come back and go, shit's terrible. And I'm like, fuck. That's Grotto. That's Grotto the game. You give them really cryptic clues and you hope to God they know what to do.
Pretty much.
As for storytelling and atmosphere, it's actually not bad. I believe I bought the game on sale for like $4 to $5. I think it's worth it at that point.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, like I think it's fine. I think it's a great little story game. It does have achievements and stuff. So if you're achievement whore like I am, they're not that hard to get. You just gotta, go through the hoops type of thing. And what else? Oh, art style. Same group of people that did the art style for what's the other game they did? The really hard roguelike Darkest Dungeon. There we go. Same people that did that artwork.
Okay, so it's those guys who did. Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, I think this is their first game before Darkest Dungeon. So this is like you can see where their arts. We're figuring out their art style, and it kind of shows here because it's like, oh yeah, like you see all these different types of creatures coming in to talk to you, and there are different types of people and different like the atmospheres going on and whatever. And it's like, this is cool. It's nice. It feels cool. It feels good and like great atmosphere. And I never ever want to be like some sort of shaman ever again. Don't want to be a shaman. Shaman sucks. Oh, and also one of the things in the game you can do is you can throw the bones, and you also play an instrument to get more pro tips from spirits of like what they think. And sometimes what those spirits, especially the instrument spirit and then the bone spirit, are two different ideas. So you can you can get their added data and go, okay, maybe let's see what I should choose. And it's interesting because the bones was the elder that died at the beginning of the game, and then the instrument is just an instrument that this trader was using, and it's like, oh, the instrument was telling me I should give this to you, so I'm going to give it to you. And it's like, oh, the instrument talks, and then it turns out if you strum a couple strings, it will just start talking to you. And yeah, like the instrument is, I would say, it's like a weird far left cryptic weirdo, but when you read his sentences, you go, oh, that I can understand what you're saying, I think. And then I
get it.
Yeah, and then you throw the bones, which used to be the elder of the village that you're helping. He'll just sometimes just be like, "Oh my God, what have I done? I'm a fucking moron." And you're like, "You're not helping me. Come on, give me something.
Give me something."
So every other time I throw the bones is always something. It's to just be something, either something useful or something's like, "Oh my God, why did I choose this decision? I'm a moron." I'm like,
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's Grotto.
Grotto's good.
You're a shaman. Hope your decisions go well.
Shall we talk about... Okay, well. Have you done anything else this week, Josh?
Other than work... Hold on, I can take off my sweater.
Oh, you fuck.
I'm hot. I'm so fucking hot.
You fuck, Mr. I have a job.
Yeah, I work. Although I should really start going to bed sooner. because there was an incident when I was going to work. I got to work, and then I just had an immediate pounding headache, and I could not, like, for the life of me, think of anything else other than the pounding headache. I tried to take aspirins that didn't do anything, and then I was like, well, I just got to go home. I'm sorry. I cannot think of anything else other than this headache. It was pretty bad. And people were going, oh yeah, you look pale. And I'm like, I'm in pain. So I somehow got home, and I somehow didn't like, also I had feelings of like, I'm going to throw up, and I didn't throw up until I got home. So that's great. I got home before the danger happened. But then as soon as I threw up, it was like, oh man, I feel better. And I slept it off, and I woke up at like 2 to 3 p.m. And I was like, oh God, I should really get to bed sooner so I don't get these fucking killer headaches.
Oh man.
Yeah, not great.
That sucks. I'm sorry to hear that, bud.
Yeah, it really is like, hey, sleep is very important for a human.
Mm-hmm.
Can't really just push that off.
I mean, you can. It just takes time.
I mean, you can push it off, but then if you will only get 5 hours of sleep, and then you go, oh, my brain!
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you're basically ending up here like,
I mean, I have a lucky position right now where things at my job were going smoothly. There's not too like fast paced / like, oh, you know, I can keep up with my work and not have anyone yell at me or anything. And I'm not making too much of errors. So I can, or if there is an error, I can actually fix it. So it's not terrible.
yeah.
So yeah, like things are pretty hunky dory. And I'm just in a perfect position where if I do get a screaming headache, everyone's like, oh, that's understandable. Yeah, get better. I'm like, thank you.
I mean, that was always like the best. Or like when I worked at like Navigator, was like, you could be like, hey, I'm not coming in today, and they would go, why? And you're like, I fucking feel like shit.
I have a legit screaming headache, and I don't know where it's coming from.
I have a day I'm just taking off, and don't ask why. Fuck off.
And I sound like this.
And fuck you.
Yep.
I watched a show, and I played 2 games, and we got some news.
Oh, okay.
I'll talk about the games I played. I played Halo Infinite, of course.
Of course.
New season. It's okay. Things are fine. It is decent.
Well, that sounds good.
Yeah. It's actually where it needs to be, so that's nice. Then I played... it's a shorter season this year. It's about 1 month. Okay. So you gotta do it quick. You gotta be quick. Quick. And then they gave us Flood cosmetics and new maps. It's good. It's fun. Interesting. Game's finally where it needs to be. It's 50 levels. Please, for the love of God, give me the new shit. That's all I want.
Please, for the love of God, give me the new shit.
Yeah. Then I played while waiting for High on Knife to install. I played Solar Ash, and that game is, you know, the game I was making fun of earlier, Josh. Yeah, it's one of those games. It's a contemporary art piece, and you're like, okay.
What's the name of it again? High on Ash?
Solar Ash.
Oh, Solar Ash. I'm really high on something, apparently.
Yeah, are you fucking actually high?
No.
I was kind of hoping.
I mean, I could be high on something.
But I played it, and I'm like, oh, this game's okay. It's just, there are worse games than this, and It's not my kind of game. I wouldn't play it a lot. It's fun. You kind of have to be you kind of have to be like one of those players who's like, oh well, you know, it's a game and you enjoy it and you have fun and that's about it. Yes.
You'd say there's a platformer. It looks like a platformer.
It is basically a platformer. You go around an environment, you catch some stuff, you put some stuff in the thing. I don't think I'm going to play more of it than I need to. I might play some more of it actually now thinking about it, but it's like it's one of those games that I play a little bit of and I'm like, meh.
It does look cool.
It's meh. I think the voice actor, if they didn't have voice acting in it, it would be a lot better.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh.
It
looks cool.
It looks cool. That's the reason I downloaded it.
Oh, I see.
And I was like, oh well, this looks cool. It's fun. It's interesting. That's interesting. I'll play it. And then I played it and I'm like, oh.
It is.
Oh.
It is a very positive on the most recent reviews, and all reviews is also very positive, which is about a 90% of all people that give it a positive. So it's not bad.
It's not you won't hate yourself if you play it.
I see.
Then I played more. Then I watched a show.
Ah.
And I have some complaints about this show.
Oh.
It's a show I told you about.
Which one?
It's called Captain Lazerhawk.
Oh, yes. You showed me a still of Rayman.
There are
eating...
no tits in this show, and by golly, that scene needed tits.
I mean, it's...
There needed to be a scene where Rayman fucked a hooker.
Maybe he did fuck that hooker eating sushi off of her boobs. Or off of her butt.
He clearly snorted coke off of her ass.
I don't think... I think... Wasn't that a different scene?
No, that's...
Or that's the same scene?
The way that the scene goes is it cuts to Rayman talking on television, and then it cuts to him watching himself on television while she's sitting on on the table, licking a lollipop, and you're like, oh, that's fucking hot. That's real fucking hot. That's a real fucking thing right there. Oh, it's a cow person.
It's a cow person. Because there's a whole bunch of mutant people that live in this universe, apparently.
But let's be honest here. If somebody came up, if somebody, that is the end goal of the rich evil bad guy, is eating sushi off of a naked woman.
Yes.
That is the goal. Is if you ever are facing a rich bad guy and he's eating sushi off of a naked woman, you're done. You're done skis. You know, if you're ever at that point where you're eating sushi off of a naked woman, you're the bad guy. You're the bad guy of the situation. Okay. But that being said, I watched it. It is homoeroticism. The first episode is homoeroticism, the show.
Okay.
The second episode is homoeroticism, the show, mixed with conspiracy. The third episode is homoeroticism, the show, the revenge finale.
Okay.
And then mixed with cool characters. The fourth episode is assassin, creed shit, and conspiracy gets expanded. The sixth episode is let's continue with this bullshit of that we're doing. And then the sixth episode is the conspiracy kind of falls out. And this show is literally Ubisoft the show. So there is references to all of Ubisoft's characters and like people, there's references to the Templars, there's references to Assassin's Creed, there's references to Rayman, there's references. The only thing that there isn't reference to is Rainbow Six.
Oh, that could be a thing.
There's a reference to Sam fucking Fisher.
Oh, really?
And they do the Sam Fisher thing where Sam Fisher is actually a badass.
Oh, that's cool.
And the funny thing is like the way that they do it is they're like, oh, well, Sam Fisher, you know, he lost his legs in the war and during the uprising of and all this sort of stuff. And the United States no longer exists. He's a rogue agent. And you're like, uh-huh. And what else? Well, and I'm like, yeah. When are we actually going to get to see Sam Fisher be Sam Fisher? Like, times 11. Like, when are we going to see Sam Fisher face off against the main antagonist? And you're just sitting there and he's watching this guy eat sushi. And all of a sudden you just hear piano start playing.
Huh.
Like, it's so much like that. And you're like, man. There's literally like a reference to who's the bad guy in Far Cry 4?
I can't remember.
Peel Ming, I think it is. Far Cry 4 antagonist. Pagan Min. Yeah, Pagan Min is in the actual show. He's a gay guy. There is so many little things in the show. There's so many little references. There's so many things, and it's just it's a fun show based on like Captain Lazerhawk, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And I would encourage you to watch it if you're like a video game nut like me.
Ah.
But it is kind of it could be better. There's references to like Watchdog and stuff like that. They do some interesting things, dead sex in there. And it's just like, man, I just wish they would use the actual designs.
They just made up their own designs for the show?
They made their own designs for the show.
Ah.
I think the only characters who look actually kind of like the characters are Rayman. And the assassin literally looks like an assassin, but he's a frog.
Okay.
So like the other thing is like the show really isn't. It's 6 episodes. And it's 6 episodes of greatness, and then things happen, and it just, the way the show kind of works is kind of like how I've been reviewing it, where it's like, and then this happened, and then this happened, and then this happened, and this cool thing happened, and this really cool thing happened. You're like, please stop. Like, give things levity. And it's a fine show to watch. I think that Josh would enjoy it. That's just my personal opinion.
Feels like I should watch it.
Yes.
Now I'm like, man, I just gonna have to go watch it now.
Dude.
Just the imagery alone of Rayman eating sushi off of a naked chick. It's just like, yeah, that sounds like a thing I should give my detailed attention to.
Dude, there's literally a Power Rangers reference. And it's like, I'm watching this thing and I'm like, that's a Power Rangers reference, and it's funny. And it's like there's things about the show that seem kind of cool and awesome, and it's just like, I don't know, man. I think it's fine. It's currently on Metacritic, and I'll say my opinion on it before I actually bring it up. It's not a full on 10 out of 10. It's definitely like a 6 out of 10.
Ah.
maybe even a 5 out of 10, but it's not the worst thing ever in the world. I think the show that is Captain Lazerhawk. Let me look this up. TV show. It's fun. It's not the best show on the planet. It currently is sitting at a 7.3 on IMDb, so it is about average. So if you enjoy average shows, you might enjoy this.
Ah.
Okay. Also, Josh, there's another topic. The final topic. Are you aware of... So, Lisa Sue announced recently Threadripper 2, Electric Boogaloo.
Oh.
So we have a new Threadripper coming out. It is AMD introduces new Ryzen Threadripper 7000 series processor and Ryzen 7000 series Threadripper Pro WX series processors for the ultimate workstation. Basically, as it looks like right now, it's going up to 96 cores. The actual Threadripper is about 64 to 128 cores. It is 320 megabytes of cache, 350 watts of TDP, and $5,000 USD. So, it looks like the actual fucking... It looks like a desktop parts are coming back into style. So, woohoo, woohoo. Do you have any comment, Josh, or anything you want to add?
Not really.
All right. Shall we end the show?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. Thank you, everyone, for listening to the Black Mind Games podcast. You can listen to us every Thursday on blackmindgames.podbean.com. You subscribe to us on your favorite podcasting app of choice. Thank you, Josh. Thank you, myself. Have a good night. Bye. Oh, fuck. I hit the wrong button. And it's like, well, first of all, I never knew that was a requirement for the position when I applied for it, and second of all,
I should record and repeat the line. Sorry, your performance from last time wasn't good enough because the cock you sucked was not great. I just want to make sure that's recorded.
Yeah. It's and then you as like the employee or the new hire, the person who's getting hired. You're like, I'm sorry, what? I have to suck dick. Yeah, I didn't know I had to suck dick.
That's what it said on the application
form. Why the
form.
fuck do I have to suck dick?
Everyone has to suck dick.
I mean, you have to suck. I mean, I understand that, but like that was never in the ad or anything like that. And the person's like, "Well, you see, we also found out that you're a fucking piece of shit." And you're like, "How?"
Yeah.
I don't know. It's upsetting.
Yeah. Exactly.
Still not as bad as when I interviewed with LMG.
Uh-huh.
And The interview went bad. It was a bad interview. I could have done better. It was just a bad interview.
Oh,
And yeah, of course. And then 2 weeks later, it was like a little bit later, I get a fucking phone call from the guy I was talking to. He's like, just so you know, you didn't get the position. I'm like, yeah, it's kind of fucking obvious.
Well, 2 weeks later, and and another one. Yeah, I kind of figured.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
There was hopes, but the hopes weren't there. It's like my it's like me going back to EA. There's hope, but I don't know.
Put this in the topic list, I guess.
Do you even look in the topic list or do you just post everything in topic list resources?
Oh, maybe okay. Maybe I post everything in topic list resources. I just look at the word that says topic list and shove it in.
There you go. Topic list is now atop.
Yeah, there we go.
Mm-hmm. I don't know. I'm slightly hurt. My emotions are hurt. I'm hoping for a new job eventually.
Oh.
Well, it's just
Hopefully you get something good.
well, I think I've gone 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 12 interviews. So I've had 12 interviews since getting laid off. So that's a lot of interviews, but hopefully I get something soon.
Shotgun as many as you can.
Mm-hmm.
Load up your shotgun of resumes and just blast it.
Well, that's the thing, right? Is like right now it's like, well, hopefully I can get something, and it's just like, maybe. Don't know. Hope is failing, but last time hope was failing, there was a position offered to me, and I just took it. So, don't know. Shall we sync?
Yes.
Okay. Sync in 3, 2, 1.